4 years have passed since the mortal races banded together and stood united against the might of the Burning Legion. Though Azeroth was saved, the tenuous pact between the Horde and the Alliance has all but evaporated. The drums of war thunder once again.
World of Warcraft was more than just a game to me. It was an experience. WoW was actually the first game I ever played. When I was about 5 years old, I used to make a bunch of Tauren hunters and get them to about, I'd say, level 10. Then I'd find things started getting too hard, quit the character and repeat the process. I, at the age of 5, obviously didn't have my own account. I was using my dad's. I maxed out my dad's max amount of characters not before long, just a bunch of level 10s. I used to have a great time being a stupid kid exploring WoW during its glory days of BC and Wrath with just low level Tauren hunters. Because I was using his account and not mine, when he took breaks I had to stop playing as well. So my dad took a break at the end of Wrath of the Lich King because of guild problems, and let's just leave it at that.
Alright boys, I need one more DPS for Shattered Hall's Heroic. You know the drill, stand together, let's have a look at you. Okay, well this is quite obvious, isn't it? One of you is exceptional, the other one looks like he needs help getting dressed in the morning. It's you son, you've got the higher gear score, let's go.
Now, when I was a kid, me and my dad would go up to my uncle's place 2 houses up the street. My dad would go there to get drunk and have a good time laughing at shit, etc, etc. However, the thing I most vividly remember were the Equals 3 videos and the WoW stories about how great WoW was and the fun experiences they had. Hearing about how great and fun WoW was for me at a young age created an idealization of the game, as I really wanted to play it, but simply couldn't, as this was during the time my dad had taken a break during Wrath. However, something drew Dad back. Any WoW player knows what I'm talking about. It was...
pain. Agony. My hatred burns through the cavernous deeps. Azeroth will break, and all will burn beneath the shadow of my wings.
Cataclysm arrived and we returned to the game, and I consider my time with Cataclysm to be the first time I was really playing WoW. Didn't mean I played the game decently at all, but at least I was playing it past the level 10, as you will soon see. This will be the start of the series where I tell you my personal experiences with every expansion during and after Cataclysm. When Cataclysm launched, I was 7.5, so most of my memories from Cata are from when I was 8 and early 9. So I'm digging pretty deep through the memory banks to tell you about my experiences with Cata, which is why maybe there will be some vagueness or misinformation to my information here or there. This isn't going to be analytical either. This will be a more personal look on the game and the experiences I had with it. Now, when I returned, I for the first time ever was determined to get to level cap. Not only did level cap sound fun and exciting from my dad and uncle's conversations, but also I wanted to do it just for the sake of being able to say I did it. The pride and achievement of getting to max level. Both my uncle and dad were alliance. One was a human DK, being my dad, and the other a mage. So I was going to become a Worgen hunter and join them in the alliance as well. But then I noticed something on my dad's account. All of his characters that were his were on Dathrammer, but I noticed he had a character on Sourfang. An Orc hunter who was level 32. I saw that, and despite wanting to go Worgen to play the game with my dad, I could not be bothered leveling another account to level 32. I had done the early leveling so many times during Wrath, I decided to just go for it and play the Orc hunter. When I first logged on, I was excited as hell to play. I decided I would head to Stranglethorn. I was the appropriate level and I wanted to see the jungle land without being easily murdered by anything like on my previous low level accounts. When I got there, I picked up some quests and then headed into the wildlands of Stranglethorn Vale. Then I immediately started mindlessly grinding on pirates and other woodland creatures without any quest to kill those targets. So now you might be thinking, that's strange, why didn't you just do the quests you picked up from Booty Bay? And the reason I didn't do them was because I was a stupid fucking 7-year-old. What, were you expecting me to be a pro? No, I was complete horseshit. I was keyboard turning and clicking all of my abilities with my mouse. I was a complete and utter noob. Despite all of Cataclysm's efforts into streamlining questing, I was still incapable of doing most of them, much to the frustration of my dad when he'd occasionally watch me play. Didn't matter to me though, I was having a blast killing pirates. However, I was kind of confused by something. Now, I didn't know that much about WoW at the time, but I knew hunters needed ammo. I searched for ages wondering why I didn't have ammo and how on earth was I still shooting my gun without it until my dad informed me it wasn't in the game anymore. Neither was the need to feed your pet or the need to level it. Now this to me was a little disappointing even at the age of 7 because I felt like they'd taken away from the game. However, it wasn't going to stop me having a blast even if I wasn't really achieving much. Even every time I somehow managed to complete a quest, I'd always ask my dad what piece of gear to pick because I found stats very confusing for about a month. Now, I know the average leveling time in Cata was about 2 to 3 weeks, and I know some of you might find this a little ridiculous, but me getting from level 32 to 85 in Cataclysm on a hunter specialised in Beast Mastery, I reckon took about 3 to 4 months, maybe even longer. This was not due to how challenging the game was, this was due to my complete and utter incompetence. The slowness of my leveling made it feel like a great journey though. I explored every inch of Azeroth looking for XP and just things to do in the world. Here's an example. I was questing in Dustwallow Marsh and I got bored, so I decided to head for 1,000 needles as I was like level 38 and thought I'd be able to take it on. But I ran into a small problem. I could not, for the love of God, work out how to get there. I don't know why, I just couldn't find my way into the zone. So I went to the east coast of the marsh and just started swimming towards the next zone with no movement buff nor anything. It took what felt like an eternity to get there. However, once I got there, I noticed the whole zone was flooded and I got really confused. My little brain didn't understand the zone and after about a 15 to 20 minute swim, I simply teleported back to my save point in the marsh. This is a definition of a stupid story. Another stupid experience I had was I was in Ongoro Crater and despite the zone having visuals I really loved, I was bored to death with the zone. I decided I wanted to leave the zone, so I checked out Silithus and realised it was way too high level, and then I was confused on what to do next. Then a light bulb went off. I thought, I'll take a flight point all the way back to Orgrimmar, get a Zeppelin to Tirisfal Glades, and on foot run all the way to Blackrock Mountain to do some quests and level. This journey was absolutely pointless, incredibly time consuming and stupid, but I had such a fun time doing it because I was for the first time exploring the Midlands of the Eastern Kingdoms. Sneaking past the guards in Loch Modan was the highlight of the journey. As a child, I loved running around and exploring Azeroth as I had so much of the map mapped out just by pointless traveling. Now my first dungeon experience was pretty intense. I was level 57 and I had grown the balls to queue for the dungeon finder. And what dungeon do I get? Fucking Upper Blackrock Mountain. What a shit show to get this as your first dungeon. And just remember, I struggled to follow basic quest lines at this time. I experienced total confusion but joy. The dungeon had a complicated layout and I got lost so many times I lost count. But all the way through I was having fun being a huntard. However, we wiped and we were brought back into spirit form, also known as being dead. And where the fuck was the dungeon entrance? I seriously never found it on that dungeon run. I left after about 5 or 10 minutes running around as a corpse in confusion. Don't know why I didn't get resurrected by the healer, but whatever. I did eventually get better at doing quests though. About midway through Outlands to early Northern, I got the hang of doing them. I was managing to get through dungeons quite comfortably as well. I was slowly improving with using the technique of smashing my head against the wall until something worked. By the way, I was still kinda noobish. I was a keyboard turner and was clicking all my abilities. At least I wasn't using the arrow keys like I did in Wrath. So I did eventually hit level cap, which was 85 at the time, about 1 month before Dragon Soul came out, which was the final raid of the expansion. At level cap, I didn't really actually do that much. Just queued for dungeons, always being 4th or 3rd on the damage dealing charts, or queued for BGs, having a surprising amount of success to what my memory says. That's probably just my brain remembering what it wants to.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I spent the end days of Cata just queuing and loving those 3 dungeons they added at the end of the X-Pack, and one time doing the LFR and being floored and amazed by the scale and epicness of the raid. I didn't queue for LFR much because the idea of raiding was just too intimidating to me at the time, even if LFR is as close to raiding as WoW is from its glory days. The main goal I was trying to achieve at level cap was being exalted with all the racial reputations, so I could get the 50 mounts achievement and get my first dragon. I achieved this goal eventually with the use of tabards and spam queuing for dungeons, and I experienced a great amount of joy the first time I could fly around my Drake. I had fun with the end game of Cataclysm, but my most vivid memories of the game are from leveling. The first time taming some random creature or seeing a new part of the world. That's where the main excitement and joy came to me from Cataclysm. As this time playing WoW, it wasn't really just playing Cataclysm, it was playing all of WoW. From the revamped vanilla zones, to the weird alien worlds of Outlands, to my journey in the freezing north of Northern. It was all new to me. That was my personal experience with Cataclysm. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.